So welcome to another video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander.
And I'm Grant.
And just wanted to get together and just give a wrap on 2018 with regards to us and just wargaming
and wargaming, yep.
What we've been up to. Because it has been a wild year for us.
It has.
A lot of stuff just...
Both with the blog.
Yeah.
And personally, a little bit.
Yes.
So... But it's been good. 2018 was a good year, I think.
Yeah. Every year's a good year.
Yeah.
But this
that I'm
year,
alive, right?
Right. But I felt like for me, I moved further away from you.
Yep. Which I shed many tears.
Very sad.
At first.
Was still pretty close. I mean, we still game very regularly.
Yeah.
But it used to be...
we
lived in the same town, 5 minutes away from each other.
Yeah.
And we'd game 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah. And it has reduced our gaming.
Yes.
But
it's forced us into more solo gaming.
We've done more solo. We've done some other type of content.
And this year has been pretty amazing. There's been a lot of war games out, I feel.
A ton.
And just some new things happening as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, we just played Forgotten War the other day from a brand new company.
Yeah.
Like, there's war game companies starting
Well,
up.
and not just a brand new company. A company that I think six weeks ago or 8 weeks ago, I don't even know if it really existed.
It may have done, but we didn't know that.
But the owner, Ray Weiss, I mean, he kind of grabbed the bull by the horns and took the leap of faith, and he's put 3 games out there with we talked about
a
this.
bunch more on the way.
6 or 8 at least planned. And, frankly, it was a pretty decent little game.
Yeah, and he's got a bunch of those.
I got trashed, but it was a decent little game.
But there's tons of stuff like that from smaller game companies doing more things.
Well, and more Kickstarters. It has really become a tool used by wargame companies. I think 2-3 years ago, we didn't see as many. There were still some.
Right.
But now there's, we played Dunkirk, Cold War. There's
Down in Flames.
Lincoln was...
Down in Flames Locked On was a Kickstarter from DVG as well.
Well, DVG does a lot of Kickstarters, and they really know how to do it. They do great games that are Kickstarted, but it's good to see other people kind of taking the risk and jumping out there, because I think the reality is more games is a good thing.
Yeah, and it's more opportunities for different things.
Well, you can cover different topics, I don't know that you're going to spend a lot of time on a Dunkirk title, for example. I mean, there's other ones out there.
There's a bunch out there, though.
I guess that's true.
But I like that. I like options in the sense that I think if Dunkirk game's a Dunkirk game, but I like seeing other people's viewpoints, how they would interpret that, how they would put that into a game.
Right.
At least, I like that, right? I like seeing, what's this person's take on it? Although there's some things that hypocritically, there's only so many East Front games I can play.
Yeah.
Right? That some of it, gets to the point where it's like, beat that dead horse.
And we've played some good ones over the years, and we've played some not so
that
good
just
ones.
whatever. But I like that there's opportunity in the industry.
Right.
I don't know if wargame's growing. I feel like it is.
Yeah, I think it is.
There's people coming to the hobby.
Right.
Sure, there's the elder statesmen of the hobby are getting older, but there's more people coming in, fresh designers coming in with new stuff.
No, and we've seen younger people. I mean, we went to WBC this year, and there were a lot more young people than I realized in the hobby, and I thought that was great. Yeah. And I consider myself old. I'm 45, and you're 30 now. Dang, you're so young. But, I think there are new people coming in, and I think that's exciting. I think it, it's going to push the envelope. To me, and what type of games are designed, and the style and the format, and I think that's a good thing. Yeah,
and with that, because WBC was very interesting. It was a con that was there was a very big war game presence there.
Oh yeah,
but there was still
Euros and some
Euro games being played, but it's that intersection where those two things meet, and I think that's becoming more of a focal point in both the board gaming world and the wargaming world.
Yeah.
I think you're getting wargame designers trying to design shorter, more accessible games that have
appeal.
More Euro-y type things.
Yeah.
Coin games kind of help ease people into wargaming. We played that mini World War II game. That's a Euro game.
But it was a fantastic game.
And it has that World War II theme.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's pretty decent for what it is.
I enjoyed it. I'm going to be honest, I enjoyed it.
You know, it might spark someone's interest in, well, maybe I want like a bigger World War II game. Where do I go from there?
It's kind of a gateway. It's a gateway to something else. And I know that we've played a lot of games that use Euro-type mechanics.
But I think that the board gaming world is saturating themselves in a way where there's only so many feudal farming and civilization building games that you can play. So I think they're starting to do more things of how can they make creative combat systems in games, or how can I incorporate history and conflict. So I think you're going to get more people into the more heavy grognardy war game world, I hope, because I think it's a great scene and the games are super fun, and I love playing them because I like conflict in games. We've always played... I like that head-to-head challenge, but I also think exploring history is fascinating, and it's a great way to talk about those things in a setting where you're almost like reenacting it. I think that's one thing I love about war games, and I think war games help to bring history to more people. I think
absolutely,
and I think that's something I really like about war games.
That's one thing we talk a lot, and I know you've written a blog piece on it like a year and a half ago. But one of the reasons we play war games is to learn about those conflicts, to learn what difficulties and struggles and issues that they experience. That's one of the reasons we play it. Not the only reason, but that's one of those reasons. So the more games that can model those issues, to me, the better. And the different way they do that. For instance, let's use an example. Tonight we played Dunkirk, France 1940, which is a Kickstarter. That is a war game. It's a block war game that didn't have a DRM.
Yeah.
Didn't have a combat results table. But that's still a war game.
Yes.
It is a war game that uses a different mechanic to adjudicate combat. And I think that's great. I love to see designers and developers try something new. I really do.
Yes.
And maybe that's just me. Maybe there's a lot of you out there that really kind of want to see the same thing over and over again. And that's,
if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's...
And I understand that. I just like to see different... I don't know.
Armageddon War is a big one this year.
It was hugely different.
It was a theme when this game came out. Mark's like, you gotta check out this game.
Yeah.
And I was like...
Why? Right?
It's a future war, hasn't happened, and it's a conflict that like...
Yeah.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah.
One of the best games of the year.
And we played it...
Purely from the combat system and the
activation system.
The game is unbelievably fun to play.
Yeah.
And as such, the theme was like, ooh, now I've got these tanks with these like kind of futuristic weapon systems on them.
Right.
And you see that, so the theme kind of came after the game, but the game was great. And it was something very new.
Very fresh.
Yes.
Very fresh. I say innovative because it used a very simple activation method in a totally new way. It is a continuous activation. I like that. That's what I mean by I want to see designers like Greg Porter and Doug Bryant using these different ways to, once again, do the same types of war games, just a little bit different.
Yeah,
and I love it.
It doesn't take a lot to make something feel really good.
Right.
It's different. But being able to think that way and make that different, I couldn't do that.
I don't know. And it's funny because when we play these games, one of the things we do is right after we play, we'll talk about, before we do our videos and our written stuff, we talk about what did you like in that. Cataclysm is another great example. There were some things in that game, the flags.
The flags were so dope.
The combat system, the scale, it was just...
How combat is almost an afterthought in that
game. It really is. It's more about the economics and the
politicking.
And the politicking and that was a very well executed game, and that's a game that I've looked forward to for 2 years.
Yes.
One of my first interviews. I think that was my third or fourth interview, but I love that. I loved, and I'm telling you, each one of these games that we look around the table, At Any Cost is another one. I loved, while it was like banging my head against the wall because it was so difficult, that combat system, the morale system, you're rolling like all the dice at once. That's very foreign to me.
Yeah, Gallipoli's the same way.
Yeah.
You chuck a bunch of dice and then you read the dice.
Yeah, and it's just like, that's neat. It's just novel, and to me, it gives me a similar feel to other games. It's just a little bit different, and I like that.
2018 was a year for me where I played a lot of new pieces of history.
Yeah,
we've played
conflicts that we have not touched before.
Like a lot of, I felt like almost every game we played was like, this is a totally uncharted territory. Yeah. I felt like 2017 played a lot of World War II games, a lot of Vietnam games, things like that. Some World War One, but this was, I don't know if that's just me or us, but
there's been
so many
several
ones. Like At Any Cost.
I'm trying to think.
Never played a game in that.
The Maori Wars from Legion War Games. Never have played a game on that, and we love that. That was a great game.
Shamefully, was my first Korean War game.
Yeah,
this year,
1950, the Forgotten War.
Gallipoli from GMT.
Yep.
That one was new. Never played that that kind of thing before.
Modern warfare like Armageddon.
Oh, and I played Blenheim. Mm-hmm. That's also a new one. Even Lincoln. We've played American Civil War before, but like I haven't done a ton of that.
We haven't played a lot of American Civil War games.
We've played a couple.
Yeah, I mean I've played 3 or 4.
You play those with Matt though.
Yeah, it's our other friend, and
I don't play a lot of those.
He likes a lot of those. He loves the Civil War.
Yes,
he's actually got Gettysburg from Command Post Games. Just fresh off of Kickstarter, that delicious canvas map. I cannot wait to touch that thing and play on that thing.
Even the new issue of C3I that has a Gettysburg game in it. It's a really small, plays in a half-hour game that Mark Herman designed, and he showed us that, and we played it at WBC.
It was fun.
I mean, it's great.
Yeah, it was a blast.
That was my first ever Gettysburg game.
It was great.
Like I've played a ton of new pieces of history this year.
That's very true.
And that's been exciting. I think that's where I'm like, I've got no idea what to expect from this. Right. And I've learned a ton of history and been exposed to a lot of stuff. Even, we played Genesis for the first time.
Oh, it was fun.
I don't know anything about the Bronze Age, but I know a little bit more now.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and it's interesting. We enjoyed that when we did kind of an initial review just based on what we played for 2 hours or hour and a half or something.
Yeah, we just played that introductory scenario for a few hours.
Right. And we've got a kind of a hookup with one of our followers that we're going to play that, I think, or try to.
Yes, and that's on video now, so we're committed to that.
Yeah, at Gen Con, we're going to try to sit down with him.
Yes.
And I'm like, what fun that will be. So
I'm excited for that.
But that's a different piece of history, something we necessarily haven't gamed. We've gamed more, and if you looked at my post on my collection, I think like 58% was World War II.
Which I'm sure that's a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah. This year, a lot of World War I games came out. Well, last year and this year. 100-year anniversary. Centenary.
Yeah, so a lot of that kind of stuff.
We've played a lot of those cool games. But I think we've been exposed to a lot of additional historical simulations that we hadn't really touched before.
And I think that's great. You know, I'm playing a certain game, it gives me a flavor for this.
Yep.
I go and explore. I'm like trolling BGG at the moment for some good Napoleonic games.
Right. Because we just haven't played a whole lot of those.
No. But it's like...
We've played 3 or 4, but... I'm embarrassed to say that, but it's just the truth.
Right. I'm piddling around with like Field Commander Napoleon, which is an older game. Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, it's so fun. And so now I'm like looking at other things.
What was that other game? Waterloo 20 and... From Victory Point Games.
Yeah,
that was a great little...
It's the Napoleonic 20 series.
I just really liked that because it was simple, fast, quick playing, and it was fun.
Yeah.
You really saw the impact of cavalry, and that was from 2 years ago, but that's another example of a game that I'd like to play some more Napoleonic battles.
And I'm looking for some moment, and it just that's something that the wargaming world. That's what I like. With the bigger it gets, the more stuff there is, the more I'm discovering things. I'm like, ooh, here's this, here's this cool piece of history. Where's the games?
Yeah, right.
And there's lots now, right?
Yeah,
it's not just one or two companies. There's a ton of people putting out great stuff, and that's exciting for me.
Yeah.
There's always something new to find, but there's also a huge back catalog of old classic games as well. And people are like,
buy this
at Gen Con this year. You got a couple of old classics that we've got to sit down and play.
Yep.
That is like
Vietnam from Victory Point or Victory Games.
What was the other one?
Victory in the Pacific.
That's right.
From Avalon Hill. Those are games that I want to break them out. I want to play them, but we've just got so many
finding
games
the time
to
is the
play.
hard bit. But there's always, whenever we put up a video or write a review on a website, someone always is like, "Ooh, check this out."
Yeah, what about this game?
What about this? And that's something I also like is there's a lot of people with a lot of experience, and they're always giving good recommendations of things to at least look at.
Yeah. The other thing in 2018, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like we've played a lot more solitaire games, and it's probably because of our living situation, but I feel like there's a lot of great solitaire games that have come out this year.
Man, I had a discussion.
And I'm not talking about solitaire games that are, designed as a two-player game, and then you can play it solitaire, or they have a
Although there's plenty of those.
Right. I'm talking about a solitaire game that's designed with a fully functioning AI, and there's been a lot of them, and I've really enjoyed them. And I know that I don't like solo gaming.
You did not.
Not until about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Comancheria was probably my first that I played that I thought, damn, that's a good game, by Joel Toppin and GMT. That really kind of kicked it in gear for me. But this year, Night Fighter Ace, Battle for Ramadi, Pavlov's House. I played a prototype copy of Castle Itter by David Thompson. I just feel like we had a lot of great solo games.
And that's something that I feel like that's a move that the industry is going towards.
Right.
You got to make your game solo playable in a lot of cases, because they know you're going to sell more, right?
Right.
If a war game has a solo option, more people are going to buy it.
Yeah.
Especially if the solo option is solid, like it's actually got a good AI or a whole system or it's a solo game, you're going to shift a lot of those because some people have a hard time getting together with people.
Well, some people live in a town and don't know anybody that plays war games. We're fortunate. We have each other. We're family. We also have other friends that we can play war games with. Yes. I mean, it's not like we have a lack of people to play with.
There's plenty of discussion out there. People are like, you can always find someone. But I'm like, but some people don't want to, right?
Yeah. And frankly, there's some people that you might never want to get together with.
Right. Having I think more designers are saying like, okay, how can I make this playable by a single person and it be interesting and good?
Yeah.
And, some mechanics don't lend themselves to that, but people are designing systems that can be.
Yeah,
and
agreed.
Or you get people like Stuka Joe, or I think Judd Mars does this too, where they're making a solo system for a game that's...
right, that wasn't a solo game.
Like the Paths of Glory system that he's just created. People are finding ways to make things being played on their own because, I've got so many games. We might play once a week, but what do I do the other 5 days of the week? I want to play my own games.
Right.
But so
absolutely.
I myself.
Yep.
So
there's many of these games we're going to have to play solo because we just don't have enough time. Period.
Yes, but that's something that I've noticed as a trend. I think that's a good thing.
No, I think it is as well.
Moving towards being able to play my games even when I don't have people around, I think that's excellent.
Right.
I think 2018's been fun. We went to 3 different conventions.
Yeah.
We went to Origins just for one day.
Just for one day.
But that was cool.
And we'll probably do only one day again this year.
Yeah.
I have a new job. I don't have as much vacation as I used to. So we're probably just going to do like a Saturday. We might stay over till Sunday. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, but to keep that to a week. And then
right.
we did WBC for the first time this year. That was dope.
A blast.
We met a lot of people there. There's a ton of designer videos on the YouTube channel from people we met there, which was just amazing.
Well, and it was not
so
only amazing and a fun time, but we got so much gaming and information in about a 40-hour period.
Yeah, it was wild.
I mean, we met with like 12 different people, and we could have done more.
We didn't have enough time.
Right, we just ran out of... There were some guys doing a new game on Normandy. I can't remember the name, but I wanted to talk to him so badly, but we just didn't have the time. Tom Holliday?
Yeah,
was that?
It was with MMP.
Doing something for MMP, and I'm like, I
game.
wanted to talk to that guy, but I just didn't have time.
So yeah, this year we're kind of blocking out more time for that.
Well, we're going to go at least another day, if not another 2 full days.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to go on maybe Tuesday evening. We'll see.
But yeah,
once again, I don't have enough vacation. But I'm going to be honest. If you haven't been to WBC and you like war games, I think it's well worth the trip.
Get a friend and go. Because it's so relaxed, the atmosphere.
It was a blast.
And some of the other conventions we go to, like Gen Con's here in Indianapolis, we go to that every year.
Well, you get thronged by people. It's so busy.
It's 50,000 people.
And there's only about 10 war games in the entire place.
Right. And it's signing up for events. Right. Everything's ticketed. Everything's so constrained because there's just so many people that have to be like that.
Yeah.
Whereas WBC, just walking around, everyone's just like, oh, let's just sit down and play a game. Just go meet all the people that designed all these games. They're all there. Like, there was so many people.
You just meet them. We never shouted out to someone that they didn't say, oh, yeah, here's my game. And we sat down and looked at it. I mean, think about all the appointments we got without even making them. Yeah. I mean, we just... Sean Drulinger and Sal Vasta.
We just sat down.
Yeah.
And then Sal just comes and sits.
Because we were playing Gettysburg, and he walks up, and we're like, him and his son are messing around. We're like, that looks like Unconditional Surrender, but it was Armistice.
This is the
new game he's working on, and it's like, but that was so fantastic. And I know you feel the same way. Every one of those designers is so approachable.
Yes.
I mean, I never went up to someone and got the rolling of the eyes or the pshaw. I don't want to talk to those guys.
They want their games to be successful.
You're right.
And it's such a this hobby. No one's even a millionaire.
No, we don't.
Right. It's a labor of love. The people who work in this hobby are doing it because they enjoy it and because they want us to enjoy it.
Right.
The people who do this, they like history.
Yeah.
They like talking about history. And we all have that in common.
Yeah,
and I
that's
think
very true.
It's so cool.
Yep.
Just meeting these people, putting like faces to names, and like hearing it out of their mouths of like, oh, here's why this game's cool.
Right.
Like John Paniski showed us one of his new games,
Yeah.
the Devil Dogs of Bellwoods, and you could tell he just had a passion for that.
Yeah.
And it was just so cool.
And we played several of his games that we've enjoyed. But the other thing I really liked was just the average gamer there. Everybody was so cool. I mean, it was just so fun.
It was very refreshing.
Yeah. So Gen Con, I don't get that feeling. You're walking around.
It's a different scene.
You're a
it's
number.
Very busy.
We have a blast. We always do have a blast. And we find the war games. And we play some Euro games too. I mean, we played several that I thought, that was a fun game.
Yeah.
But WBC we definitely want to go to more. I still have a goal of going to Weekend at the Warehouse at GMT. It's kind of it's a long trip for us. It's a little bit more expensive.
That's going to be expensive. But with that said, I just wanted you to say a big thank you to everyone who's supported us in the Players Aid. Anyone who's ever bought a T-shirt or who has ever donated
buttons,
to us.
Or just said hi or, watched videos and read our stuff.
That just helps us out.
Yeah.
Gives us this bit of moral support. But, anyone who's donated anything, that helps us to put more content out.
Well, we bought a new camera stand. We bought some mics. I mean, all that stuff's expensive. And we've got families, and it's, but it's...
So I'm very grateful
absolutely.
for everyone that's done that. It's really nice to see. And that's, again, it's an affirmation that this is a great hobby.
Yeah.
And a great scene.
Full of good...
And the people in it are good people.
Yeah.
And I think that's nice to see. Yeah. And going to the conventions and meeting the people behind the companies who make this hobby possible is dope because because those people are good people too.
Yeah.
They're not just suits in a company trying to fleece you for money.
No.
It's really, I don't feel like it's like that.
The thing about war game designers too, if you go on BGG, those guys are on there every day, answering
CSW
questions. Let's say that again. Sorry.
The Constant World forums as well.
They answer questions. They provide input and feedback. They listen to concerns. Some of these guys, Greg Smith is one of those guys. That guy spends probably hundreds of hours on each of his games supporting them, and that's fantastic. Yeah. He didn't just make Night Fighter Ace, put it out, sell it, 800 copies, and then said, I'm never going to touch it again. The guy's still supporting it. And that's and it's only been out 6 months or 8 months, but I don't know, all of them. Mark Herman's like that too. He goes back and writes. That was another thing this year. Some of the guys that we met, Greg Smith, Mark Herman, Sal Vasta, Harold Buchanan was another guy that I just thought, man, these guys, they're so down to earth and such good people. You've already said that, so I'm reiterating that.
No, but it's you don't get that in other industries. That you can meet these people and like not just be like, oh hi, shake your hand.
Yeah.
Like, they will happily have a chat with you and like sit down with you and stuff. So that's why these conventions and different opportunities are really cool. And I recommend doing it. If you've never been to anything like that, just go, because you get to meet some of these people and it really kind of opens up the whole world of wargaming. Yeah. It's not just some cardboard in a box anymore.
Well, you put David Heath, another one of those guys. That guy is so nice to us.
Yes.
I mean, I almost feel like we're family with that guy. And it's just a great feeling. Mark Walker's another. That guy just, he likes us for some reason. Why, I don't know. But every time we're there, he's like, hey, Grant Alexander. And, it's just, that's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I can't say enough about that.
We have a great time making these review videos and unboxings and writing up different reports and AARs and things like that. And 2018 has been a blast for us. We've seen quite a lot of growth, for which we're very grateful for. I hope that continues, because the bigger it grows, the more we're able to do, basically.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to see, us reach new people. I always think when people come on and they're like, oh, I just found you guys.
Yeah, that's a good feeling.
You recommended me this thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, yay.
Yeah.
Not that I care, because if no one watched, we'd still do it anyway.
Yeah, right.
And that's the reality of who we are.
Well, and it's funny. When we started almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember putting things out, Alexander, and we'd get 12 views.
And we were like high-fiving each other.
Yeah, it was like, whoa, how amazing. And then, we broke 100, and you're like, oh my gosh, we got a whole 100 views in one day. And, now with like the YouTube channel, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't want to do the YouTube channel at first. I'm not one of those guys that likes to be on camera. I don't like to put ourselves out there, because you can be trashed. I mean, we fortunately have not really been trashed. There's been a couple, but not bad. Mostly for your dress, your style of clothing. But I mean, it's amazing how I'm nobody, you're nobody. You may be somebody, you're British. Well, now you're American. Congratulations. I don't know. It's just amazing that we've come this far and had this much fun and spent a lot of time. I mean, our spouses are very, very, very supportive.
Kudos to them.
Yeah, we love both Paisley and Kelly, and appreciate everything they do, as well as our children. I mean, my kids always ask me about the blog, and
my kids sometimes run around in the background.
Yeah, we have insurgencies in our videos, but that's part of it. We have young families, and as we shoot this video, it's 1:00 in the morning, and we've got 3 of our youngest over here.
They're all asleep in the other room.
They're also sleep talking. I heard Marin, I don't know what she was doing, but we have a good time. We consider all of you our family. I think every person we've met at a convention or online or talked to people, I just feel a kinship with. Yeah. And I think that's a great thing. I really do. I think in our world where we're becoming less and less social, more and more sterile and kind of, disjointed from each other, this is it's a medium that I think is bringing us together. And I think it's great.
Yes.
I think it's fantastic.
2018 has been a very fun year for us. Looking forward to 2019. I know, if you've seen pictures, I'm working on my basement right underneath here.
The interrogation cell.
It looks awful right now, but we're going to kind of paint it, finish it, hopefully get like a full setup down there so it's a bit more kind of permanent.
Yep.
That's something that I'm working on just in my spare time. So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to that in 2019. We've got some conventions we're planning on going to, and looking forward to more war games.
Well, and the reality is we'll be doing our 2018 best of lists here in the next, probably in February, because we've still got...
Yeah, we got a stack of them.
We got about 10 games to play.
There was so many games this
year. I don't know that we're going to get to all
and
of them.
We won't even play close to them.
Yeah.
I think just the ones we have will play.
But it's and then the reality is then 2019 games are going to start coming out. So we need to get to it. But we enjoy what we do. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you for your comments and feedback, and thanks for watching and for reading our blog. We really appreciate it.
Thanks very much for watching and tuning in, guys.